Yo, this is the Sports Back Bros podcast, but there isn't another bro. There are three bros from New York, and we're going to talk about the New York Jets, previewing the 2025 season. And what we have right now, we have Jermaine, we have Wayne, we have Diamond across the board. And of course, if you know me, you already know what's going on. These are the guys who were there at the beginning when we were going to the draft together before I was even in media, but we was just all broke dudes going to the draft, having a good time. Now we're just old dudes looking back on the draft and still pissed off at the Jets. Anyway, we're going to talk about what's going on with the Jets today, what to look forward to in the 2025 season. The preseason has started. It's not for wins and losses for the most part. It's for evaluation. What you're looking forward to, what have you seen, what do you expect, all the above. So let's get into this New York Jet talk right now. The year after the horrendous Aaron Rodgers experiment that went to hell in a handbasket the first time he was on the field, and it continued last season, 2024. We're now in 2025 with a new quarterback who may have his own problems, Justin Fields. Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers, now the New York Jets. What's good?
That's good. I'm looking forward to
take the lead.
Can't believe, right? Preseason's over now, right?
Well, this is the last preseason game today.
This is the last week.
1-3.
Yeah. You know
next week, I think, is the last week.
No,
this is the last week.
No.
This week is the last.
We had our last game yesterday. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, it's the last
1-3, man.
But do you really think that
they play? What is it? They play Sunday, but is that a regular?
No, Wayne. There's 3 preseasons, not 4 preseason games.
No, they took a preseason game away.
Yes,
they took preseason. You sound like R2D2 in the background. What's going on here? I don't have C3PO here to translate.
Yeah.
Use the force to get out of here.
So,
right? You got the robot in your house.
Yo, look, there are 3 games in the preseason now. The collective bargaining agreement has 3. They took away the 1 game. It used to be 4. And now it also gives teams a chance to evaluate the players, because you remember past years when we would look at the preseason games and week after week you would see the cuts or hear about the cuts. Now everyone is probably, unless it's egregious in terms of someone being that bad, they'll get cut earlier. They're waiting now to at least give the cuts this far out from the regular season. That way, in my opinion, and I think reality-wise, it'll give them a chance to latch on with other teams.
Yeah. I'm going to take a quick stab first. Aaron Glenn trying to change the culture of the Jets, with the penalties and just basically everything, with Justin Fields using his legs. And my only thing is that peak players like Michael Clemens, with his stupid nonsense and getting dumb penalties, hope that gets cleaned up this season.
Now, what have you seen from Aaron Glenn to indicate that, other than speaking about it, what do you see from Aaron Glenn that indicates that the team is really paying attention to not jumping off sides and all of these penalties that's always helped him self-implode for decades? Not even just the last season, the season before. This has been a Jets thing for decades. Even when Rex Ryan was there, you still had boneheaded mistakes, but the defense was overall better because the personnel was better.
They covered up because Rex Ryan had no control over the sidelines. Remember that thing with the sideline when one of the sideline coaches tripped a flip? I mean, numbskull, Three Stooges type of stuff like that. I don't think Aaron Glenn, you're going to see that with Aaron Glenn.
Now, I'm watching from
what you guys think about?
Now, yeah, you can see in the way they carry themselves right now, and they even have a online show, One Jets Drive now. So, and it shows you the way the button up practices and how they do their thing. So yeah, I think you can see how buttoned up it is, and even all the press that's been around the Jets talk about how things have changed under Aaron Glenn. So you can definitely see the change.
And that's what I'm seeing or hearing from down here. See, being from afar, I can't be on top of the Jets, even with social media being what it is. I can't be on top of the Jets like I would be if I was in New York. I hear as much as possible, and I see what as much as possible just as well, but it's not the same. And so from afar, I'm hearing people who've been with the Jets for years, Rick Cimini, who's been with the Jets for decades, these guys giving their impression of what the Jets look like compared to what they've seen in the past. And they're saying the same things in terms of discipline, the way the culture is changing, what's being put up with, what's not being put up with. But I think more importantly, they've been talking about how Aaron Glenn is running this like a CEO. He's not going to oversee the defense, even though he was the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, who had a very successful season last season, just falling the game short of the Super Bowl. He's going to let his defensive coordinator, Still Wilkes, do what he needs to do. He's going to let his offensive coordinator do the same thing, do what he was hired to do. He's not going to intervene, I guess, unless he has to.
Yeah, that mentoring under Bill Parcells has done him well, because I think he's applying the Bill Parcells style of running the team.
Yeah, well, Parcells, he's been so
you
far.
Mentioned Travis.
Yeah.
I'm saying, Travis, you mentioned CEO. That's what a head coach is supposed to be. Head coach supposed to the whole smorgasbord.
But you need to understand, too, when you get to this level of the NFL or even sports, period, the egos of these coaches and the money they get and the success they've had. Look at Bill Belichick. He could have been the CEO as well, but he just couldn't keep his hands off the defense because that's just what he does. He's the head coach. He's still, no matter who his defensive coordinator was, he was still going to call defensive plays, definitely have his thumbprint on defensive plays or defensive players, the scheme and all of that. And it showed. Now, to his credit, you know, before Tom Brady became as famous as he became, it was the defense that carried him, especially in that first Super Bowl they had when they played the Rams and won. It was defense that carried them. Tom Brady finally got his feet and he started becoming the quarterback we know he is right now. But, yeah, Bill Belichick had his thumb on there. So, yeah, I wish these coaches would be more of CEOs. These coaches would let the offense run the offense because you hired them. It shows that you have trust in them. Defense as well. Aaron Glenn, his first gig as a head coach, only because of the success he had for a small period of time, by the way, with the Detroit Lions last season.
Yeah, I mean, but he built his way up. Like, I think all the, you know, his resume is pretty good, you know, with scouting. I believe that's going to help us too as he builds this team with his ability to scout. Because some of these players, especially the undrafted ones, they popping off. They pop off the screen during these preseason games. Like, I like Dean Clark.
Yeah. And that's what you like to see during preseason games. That's what it's about. It's not about necessarily wins and losses. You would like to win because you want to build a culture, and the way to start with the building blocks is to win. If you want to become a winner, start sooner than later. Preseason is a place to start, but you don't want to end there doing that and everything ends like the Detroit Lions back in the day, 2008, I believe, started off 4-0, ended the regular season 0-16. Much ado about nothing. The Jets now, looking at individual players for the team. Looking at the individual players for the team now, who do you see right now that is probably dropping jaws? Who is someone that can carry over to the regular season and people can know that the Jets are not the same old Jets because it starts with Aaron Glenn and things kind of plays off from there?
Zaire Barnes, he popped off, and Dean Clark. They look like they're gonna make the squad, and they're gonna anchor the defense for us right there. They're gonna be some, especially Dean Clark in that at safety, helping in that running the back end of the defense.
Now, when you're talking about a guy making a team, I mean, this isn't necessarily a person who's going to start. If he's just trying his best to make the team, he's probably not going to start and be too effective, but you would like to have those kinds of players on your team because if they can help in any facet, especially when it comes to special teams or something like that, it's always a plus. Yeah, it's nice to see those kinds of traits. In terms of players that you know are going to pop out, even if it's incumbent players, who are they? I mean, we already know Sauce Gardner on the defense. We already know Garrett Wilson on the offense. What is Garrett Wilson doing? Is he even getting enough time right now during the preseason to where you can see that, okay, he's not where you can't justify the contract in your preseason game, but let you know that he's taking another step forward.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of the practices, and he looked really good. He looks like he looked like he might get another 1,000-yard season.
Well, with 17 games, 1,000 yards season is going to be too hard. But
so, be right.
Well, wide receiver wise, I wanted to know about Arian Smith. He comes from Georgia. He's a blazing fast receiver. He ran a 4.36 at the combine, but the guy drops the ball like nobody else. Georgia dropped the ball more than anybody last season, and so it wasn't always Carson Beck messing up. It was the receivers dropping the ball, missing opportunities. He dropped 9 of them, so he, along with another teammate, led the team, and the Jets decided, well, if he's dropping the ball this much, we might as well draft him. What is he doing now during camp?
Dropping the ball.
He's still dropping the ball?
Yeah, he's fast.
Like a hot potato. You can't have hands of stone when you catch. I mean, this guy, man. So diamonds to the best.
I think they play in percentages because he can take the top off. They like if he take the top off 5 times, he might drop 4, but he'll catch 1 for a big game. So I think they play in percentages with his catching.
You can't play percentages with something like that because you look at the receivers the Jets have had in the past, Mims, even Garrett Wilson. You had all of these guys breaking 4.3 rushers or 4.3 runners, and what has it done for the offense? It's always still been a defensive team for the Jets. They never were about offense or haven't been recently. In fact, when you think offense and the Jets, especially wide receivers, I'm still thinking about Al Toon and Wesley Walker when things were going wild back in the day with Ken O'Brien. Not today. Even when you had bigger, taller receivers, what's his name was the Holmes? Was Santana Holmes there? Santonio Holmes when he was there. Not a big receiver, but more of an explosive receiver. Not necessarily someone who changed the game all the time.
Jericho Cotchery
was more of a possession receiver. He was a guaranteed possession receiver, like he should have been, coming out of North Carolina State. He was as guaranteed along with Wayne Quebec. The Jets, even with Keyshawn Johnson, he wasn't a game breaker. I mean, he talked a lot, but he wasn't a game breaker.
Yeah. I enjoyed Brandon Marshall.
Oh, Brandon Marshall, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed him when he was receiving for us. He was pretty good.
But back for today, Aaron Smith drops these all the time in college. Seems like he's continuing the story. The sequel's just as bad as the first. 4.36 40 for no reason at all. It doesn't even matter. But let's talk a little bit about the backfield. Braelon Allen is getting all of the talk right now, not Breece Hall. What's going on?
I don't know. For some reason,
big things from Braelon Allen.
For some reason, ever since Glenn became head coach, it's like Breece has been on this. We may trade him. We may keep him. We may trade him. Like he's definitely part of the rumor mill. You know what I mean? So I don't understand. Like he's still Breece Hall. They've been and all they love Braelon Allen. I think they're calling him like a Derrick Henry Jr. And then Donovan Edwards and Isaiah Davis rounding out the running back room. So but I don't understand it either. Like I've been trying to figure it out. I'm like, what? Why do they? I don't know. Maybe they want to pull something else in on offense that can probably help Justin, but with the two-headed monster of Breece and Braelon they should just keep it. I'm hearing they was calling him Sonic and Knuckles.
But I'll tell you one thing: when it comes to Breece had the injury issue, the knee issue. He has not been the same. And by the way, he's in his 4th season, going into his 5th season with the Jets, I think, is it? And he hasn't broken 1,000 yards. We're talking even now with a 17-game season. He still hasn't broken 1,000 yards. He had 994, which was his highest he's had. And even in that year, he averaged 4.5 yards a carry with an 83-yarder in the mix. So that means, and I know it was Zach Wilson, and they stacked the line because they dared Zach to beat him, and he couldn't do it. Well, they decided to dare Aaron, Oh God, Aaron Rodgers last season, well, he couldn't do it either. So it's
Right.
there's a lot to be said about that. But Braelon Allen, he's another one of these Midwestern running backs, just like Breece Hall, Iowa State. In fact, he comes from Wichita, Kansas, the same place as Barry Sanders, by the way. But Braelon Allen, he's not very fast, but he's consistent. He's steady, and game speed does matter. Emmitt Smith ran a 4.61. And then he ends up being the leading rusher in NFL history. Braelon Allen, 4.57 40-yard dash, but he comes from a school that's been known to have these top tough running backs. Ron Dane, who still holds the record for the most yards from a collegiate running back, came from Wisconsin as well. Jonathan Taylor from Indianapolis came from Wisconsin as well. So they have a history of putting those players out there. I thought Melvin Gordon would have been the latest, but obviously not. Braelon Allen has that opportunity to do just that.
Yeah, and he looks it, So they short yardage, and he's been he's basically going to be our short yardage specialist, picking up them first downs and the short goal line stances. And I think Isaiah and Edwards and Breece is going to be our breakout running backs, but with a steady dose of Braelon is going to tear some defenses up. That's what we're looking forward to.
The new coaching staff always wants their guy, and Breece is more not their guy than Braelon Allen, who's only been there now in his second year. So I can see why those thoughts are there. The new coaching staff wants to eventually get their guys. So I don't know who's going to end up being that guy in this college football season that gives them the opportunity to be a top running back. Well, if the Jets are getting a top pick, that means they've blown another season. So, and because running backs are devalued, maybe they do something middle of the pack and a running back ends up falling to them. Maybe somebody like Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, who everyone's giving a lot of love to going into the season, he might be one of those guys. But none of these running backs can do anything unless the quarterback is doing something. That quarterback is Justin Fields, who's been not an enigma, just in kind of not an embarrassment either, not necessarily, but certainly has not lived up to expectation. Too much inconsistency in his passing. You're hiring a quarterback, not a running back, trying to halfback option his way to a championship. That's what it seems as though he's been doing. Nothing what they expected from Chicago. Certainly didn't get it done in Pittsburgh. Now he's with the Jets, who seem to have perpetual problems offensively of late.
Yeah, I'm looking like from the I don't know. He may get benched for Brady Cook. You know what I mean? If he really don't work out, if they really need that quarterback to be on the center, he may not he may get benched halfway through the season. It could look like it. I mean, Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook look like they may have a spot with Tyrod Taylor, So I don't know. So I think they're gonna give them as much support as they can, and then once they realize if there's something important with the season, I think they're gonna do the same thing as Tomlin did, and sit him down if they can save their season. I think his fate. If he don't improve his passing and reading defenses throughout the season, with his chances, we're gonna see the same story once again on the New York back pages.
What's your opinion, Jermaine? What's your opinion on that? What's your opinion? Okay, what's your opinion on Justin Fields and what to look forward to? What is he going to bring, and is he enough, or will there be musical chairs at quarterback again?
I mean, he's got to just make some passes. People talking about what I hear on the wire here on Sports Talk Radio in New York here is talk about that he just run first, play defense and run first thing, fine. But when defenses start stacking the box and stuff, and they're gonna stack the box just because they're gonna know what they're gonna do, he's gonna have to try to find receivers or try to make. I know he likes to try to make plays with his legs and all that, but you got to perfect that throwing. And no one's asking you to be a deep thrower, but you got to have some type of passing down the field skills or something. I mean, this Martinez kid that Diamond mentioned, I watched him in the second preseason. I didn't see too much of the preseason. I'm like, yeah, this guy, like he got something. I mean, he's wet behind the ears, of course, but I'm like, this guy might have something. The other guy, Cook, I didn't really see him. As I mentioned, I didn't see too many of the preseason games with my job and all. But if Tyrod Taylor has to start, he's in trouble. But Tyrod
Do you have
Taylor
any thoughts,
is
Wayne?
this suitcase.
What's
Yeah,
the guy
man,
y'all
quiet
talking
over
about?
there, man.
Justin? Yeah, nah. What is it, Justin?
The quarterback
I think
position.
he's waiting. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he's waiting until the regular season to really showcase. Even though everybody usually does everything during the preseason, and you can see what they got, and how how good they might be. But I think he's probably waiting till the regular season to really showcase his skills. You know what I mean? So
Well, at the
we'll see if
quarterback
that works.
at the quarterback position, Justin Fields is obviously the guy they hope turns out to be one man's trash is another man's treasure because he's kind of been their trash in
Right.
Chicago and Pittsburgh. They're hoping that he's a treasure in New
I like
York.
this saying, by
But
the way.
I tell you what, though, I think I've been on that Adrian Martinez bandwagon even since last year, and I wasn't on his bandwagon so much in college because I remember how long he was at Nebraska. I thought he was there to get his doctorate. I call him Dr. Martinez sometimes. He's been there so long. But then he transfers to Kansas and he becomes a passing quarterback, and he's an effective passing quarterback. And I wasn't expecting that from him. So I've been on top of that since last season when he started getting a little burn, started looking good. During the preseason in the first game, he looked good again. Then he threw his first interception last week. He threw another interception yesterday. But I still think he could be that guy. And now with Tyrod Taylor with a knee injury, I'm not too worried about Adrian Martinez coming in and picking up for Justin Fields if something were to happen. Now, Brady Cook, he's a tough guy. That's what he is. He's a tough, savvy, gritty guy. Probably not going to be a superstar or star or even a very good player. But he could be a decent player because he's one of those guys with moxie. I remember him from last season when this guy went to the hospital because he was injured at Missouri. He went to the hospital, came back at a halftime, left the hospital, and brought his team back to victory. I never heard of that before. Bro, this guy, if you're talking about the toughness, he has the toughness. But if they're going to break anything down, I can see him going to the practice squad and those three quarterbacks being Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor because of experience. But Martinez, certainly somebody that has the skills to step in because if Justin Fields isn't getting injured, he's only getting benched because he's playing poorly. Martinez can't be much worse. So let Martinez in, let him grow as he's supposed to, go through his growing pains, and maybe you find a diamond in the rough. I think he's that kind of player.
I think so too.
Jackson Dart. That's all I keep hearing up here is Jackson Dart. The Giants left over there.
I'm not.
I think so too.
I'm not too surprised with Jackson Dart. I liked him. He lost some bets for me last season by beating teams I picked against him. So Jackson Dart's a pretty damn good quarterback. This is still preseason. Don't get that twisted at all. We've seen people play. Remember Macy Brooks years ago for the Dallas Cowboys? He should be getting the preseason yellow jacket. This guy doesn't do anything in the regular season. Probably hardly makes the team. But the Jets are going to be, regardless of their offense, they're going to have to run a lot. We know what we're getting with, unless he's taking a huge step. We know what's going on with Justin Fields. There's going to be a lot of running, so that defense is going to have to go back to its 2023 form when they were the third best defense in the entire NFL and the second against the pass. Last season, they dropped down to 21 because I think a lot of Aaron Rodgers, they don't get a chance to rest, the wear and tear, the mental lapses, all those things that played into it. But I think defense is going to lead the way right now. And Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator, first year with the Jets, 17 years in the NFL as an overall coach, even a head coach in Arizona. But he's been to 3 Super Bowls with 3 different teams.
Wow. You got a good resume right there. And you're right. Martinez, I saw him. I saw the highlights from the Eagles. He threw that interception, and then he brought him back on the verge of tying the game up going into overtime. So I think our offensive coordinator is gonna have to really I think he might have a game plan that we can't see right now for Justin Fields. But I know they're going to mix in the run, but I think it could be intermediate and short passes just to move the chains to put our running backs and his running ability into effect in shorter yardages. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And if he can build on that, we'll have a decent season. And we'll have a decent season if they can build on that.
But his footwork is what what I'm looking forward to, because even though he's an excellent athlete, is the footwork there? Is the rhythm going to be there because of the footwork? 2-step drops, 3-step drops, 5-step drops, even a 7-step drop. A 7-step drop isn't just dropping back and looking to throw. A 7-step drop is when you're dropping, you're still looking at the defense and looking for the spots that you can make a play with. That means you have to know how to read defenses. You can't just make 7 steps drop and then get sacked or throw the ball to the wrong person, because you can't read a defense within those 7 drops. And that's what Justin Fields has been doing, that kind of thing so far throughout his career. I'm hoping that it changes. I've always rocked with him. I remember him back when he was a high school kid. I went to his playoff game. He actually didn't play then. He was injured. But as it turned, I went up to Georgia to check him out. But even at Georgia, he goes to Ohio State. At one point, I think it was 2018, 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So it looks like he can throw the ball, but I know the college game is different. And if you have a dominant team, you're probably going to dominate other teams, and your quarterback can do a lot of what they probably won't do in the NFL. But it looks like, based on what everyone else has seen or even the film they know, it looks like he should be able to do something. But, 67 touchdowns and 9 interceptions throughout his entire career in college football, to doing what he's doing now, that's a huge miss. And even last year, playing with Pittsburgh, he did go 4-2 while Russell Wilson was down with injury or whatever other reason they had him down. Or was it just something that the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to see if he could possibly be their future? He goes 4-2, but he only throws 5 touchdowns and 1 interception in those 6 games. That means the Jets are going to do a lot of running. I don't think it gets much better than what's going on right now. I don't think he's ever going to have that deep ball that you would like, and he has the arm to do. I still think it's going to be him running around and trying to buy time or panicking and just getting the hell out of Dodge for his own safety. And that almost always leads to injuries.
Like play action type of stuff.
Play action, play dead. Play dead. Seriously, because the way he's been playing for all these years, he hadn't gotten any better. You think he has, but the inconsistency has been overwhelming with him. And I hate to dump on him like that, because I like to see this guy succeed. But you know what? If nothing else at all, he's going to need his offensive line. The Jets have had some defection from the offensive line, which may be addition by subtraction. But Armand Membu, the new rookie coming out of Missouri, 3-year starter, he's considered a freak athletically. What have they been saying in the New York media about him, or if anything at all?
They like Membo a lot. They like the offensive line a lot. They that side of Tucker and Membo look like it's gonna be they're gonna go off to that side, and Fashanu, they say good things. They talk they give a whole offensive line high praises. That's why they're high on them being a running gun, a ground and pound team this season, because of the revamped offensive line.
Yeah, you don't hear too often about offensive linemen. Who?
Not the Brickenshaw and Nick Mangle.
Oh yeah, the Brickenshaw, Ferguson, Nick Mangle. I remember those guys, and Kevin Mawai. Yeah, those were great offensive linemen. If Membu could be anything, they claim he's a freakish kind of player. Maybe like Teron Armstead, who played in Arkansas, Pine Bluff. It was picked up in the NFL. I think at the Saints. I can't remember who picked him up. But I remember when they were talking about how freakish he was. He ran a 4.71 at over 300 pounds and had a 34.5-inch vertical. Benching 31 times with 225. He was a beast out there offensively as an offensive lineman, and he played well. I think he's in Miami now. So I wonder if Membu could be something like that. He hasn't played football for a long time. He's from Cameroon, so football wasn't his first love. It might have been soccer. That probably explains the footwork with a lot of these people whose soccer was their first game or first love. But in any event, defensively, what are we talking about here? Quentin Williams, what are we seeing? Like I said, I'm here from afar. I'm still trying to keep up. But defensively, is this going to be a year where the defense gets back to its old form or even close to it? Are they going to be better than number 21 like last season?
It looks like it.
I think so. I think both Williams brothers, Quentin and Quincy. I'm sorry, Dan.
No, it's all right. They got Will McDonald, Quentin Williams, Sherwood and Carter. So they look like they're gonna be back to form. You know what I mean? Sauce is tackling.
He's not Deion Sandering anymore. He's not Deion Sandering.
He needs a bounce back season. That guy.
You know things are serious when Sauce is tackling. So yeah,
they've been showing a lot of lead lately.
Yeah, I'm saying he needs a bounce back season.
Yeah, that's why they got really high hopes for this ground and pound.
They've been showing a lot of Sauce lately.
It looks like the defense is going to carry us as well as the running.
Beginning to look like gravy, man.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be back to that Rex Ryan style of playing, at least for this season anyway.
But even though Aaron Glenn isn't going to oversee the defense, do you think he may have an influence in that secondary, which is where he came from? Texas A&M cornerback, Jets legend, had a damn good career.
Yes, that's why I think so.
He can help Sauce out.
I think that's why you see the improvement in Sauce, because Aaron Glenn is having an influence on them, and even that Brandon Stevens, you know what I'm saying, coming over. Like, people don't felt like he's a drop off from Reed, but with that tutorship from Aaron Glenn, I think our cornerbacks and safeties are going to be a force to reckon with. So I'm looking forward to the beginning of the season, just so I can see, what I, past this vanilla stuff that we see in the preseason. I'm ready to see our game plan, and it looked like,
I don't know. Maybe Sauce.
You don't have the specter of TJ Mosley back there no more. So you don't have the specter of CJ Mosley back there no more.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
He's not there. He's retired.
I was never high on CJ.
Sherwood
I never was.
I know he did. I'm saying that.
I don't know. Maybe Sauce Gardner might look to do like Kelsey and have ice fights in the stands, jumping up and down. See if that works.
He needs that to inspire him. If he needs something like that to inspire him after the contract he signed, A1 Sauce needs to be different. Come on now. We're about to end it now. Let's get some predictions. We're about to end it now because I wanted to keep it about a half hour. We're going to head to that 35-minute mark.
Well, Trav, I just wanted to ask you, Trav, I just wanted to throw one thing at you. I just wanted to do that. You heard me mention him before. That Michael Clemens got to stop with them stupid penalties. Man. He's driving me and Joe Beningo crazy.
If he's driving Joe Beningo crazy, who isn't? Joe Beningo's crazy about everything.
Yeah,
he's like one of Mount Rushmore Jets fans, along with Fireman Ed and a couple of others. But before we end the show, let's give any predictions. 17-game season. How do you see our Jets? Is this going to end in the playoff or just another Jets season that's passed on by? Is there going to be improvement? What do you think?
I think we're going to see some improvement. A lot of people just saying 5 games, but I'm thinking they're going to get a wild card. I'm looking towards a wild card because there was some games last year with the kind of team we had. We left some points on the field. So with this new sturdy and anchored defense and inspired defense, I feel like we may get a little wild card spot. I look forward to a wild card.
What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, probably about the same. I'd say a wild card.
Do you have a specific number for wins and losses?
Wins. I'd probably say. How many games is it? 15?
There's 17 games now.
17? Okay.
17,
go what they say on Sesame Street. One of these 3 are doing their own thing. One of these 4 are doing their own thing. Which
Oh
one
my
does it
God.
belong?
Oh Lord, no. Yeah,
Man, pick a
I
damn number,
said
man.
I don't know. I said a record might probably be nine, nine and 12, or nine
Oh,
and
9-12.
no.
9 and
It's
7,
only
man.
seven.
That's what you're trying to say.
remember when I
9-7.
said I
Yeah.
wasn't going to edit? I lied.
No.
Jermaine, what do you think?
I
Do you
echo the
have a
other two, or I should say, I echo Diamond. I think we're gonna slide in there. We're gonna surprise some people. A lot of people talk about. I see a 6-win team. Michael K on his show. The guy Aaron Rodgers used to team up with Joe Burrow. Well, we only gonna win 7 games, we 6 games. I see us getting in as a wild card. We gonna shock some people.
Yeah,
9 and 7.
nine
That's
and
what I'm
seven, nine and
I can see it.
seven.
I see it 9-18. It's going to be 17 games, so I see it 9-18 possibly because we're in the
Oh, that's.
AFC
I'm
North.
sorry,
We're
Trav.
in
My
the
math
AFC
was
East.
off, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're in the, yeah. When you started saying 12 games, I was like, "Where's my damn Price is Right?" Me, but anyway, yeah, 9-8. I see it as being realistic. Being in the AFC East, the
9 and 8.
Buffalo is going to be
I
the
meant
best
to say
team there.
that.
Buffalo's going to be the best team there. Miami's having their own problems down there, and New England going into the second year with their quarterback.
Yeah, I
Drake
know.
May is getting better, but also, Mike Vrabel is their coach. He's been there, done that with good teams before down in Tennessee, so he could get things jumped. But I'm thinking that Aaron Glenn, coming from what he came from last year, trying to get it done this time around. If the defense can get back to what it was back in 2023, and if the offense could run more and be effective and throw when they need to throw, and people don't get injured, typically if you run so often, you may just get injured. But I think 9-8 is still a possibility. That should be enough to get into a wild card because you look at the other dominoes that fall in other divisions, and it's a real possibility. So that's my say on it.
Yeah.
Oh, not for nothing.
I concur.
Kansas, yeah, Kansas and Fresno State are playing right now for college football.
Yeah, and Breece Hall's alma mater, Iowa State, upset Kansas State today in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
So there was no home field advantage. So anyway,
Yeah, and I
Wow,
think they got somebody
now
on
college
Channel
is
7
playing
tonight.
overseas. Wow, football
Hawaii,
is making money now, boy.
Yeah, Hawaii and
So-
Stanford are supposed to play tonight too at 7:30.
that's just a
Well, the
holiday game
NFL
out there,
got 4
Hawaii.
games on today.
Hawaii plays really
The
well
NFL
on the
got-
island.
Yeah, all of them were on
They
NFL
do it.
Network.
Anyway, let's shut this thing down. I'm Trav. That's Jermaine. That's Wayne. That's Diamond. Going from left to right, depending on how you're looking at that. In the Sports Bag Bros podcast, without the real bro bias in the house, we just talked a little bit about the Jets this upcoming 2025 season. A little preview.
Right on, man.
Until next time. Later.
Yay.
Later.